Bae Ama, a 26-year-old social media creator, shared her story on the Checkup with Dr. Mike podcast about her 3-year journey battling a drug-resistant, skin-destroying mycobacterial infection. This infection stemmed from contaminated injections she received at a med spa in California. Initially, B was interested in B12 injections to improve her energy levels. As an aspiring fitness influencer, she was drawn to a med spa advertising a compound of B12 and deoxycholic acid, which is a fat dissolver. She agreed to promote the spa on her social media in exchange for credits. B admitted to being very hard on herself, prioritizing aesthetics and the hustle culture prevalent in Los Angeles. She had previously experienced positive results from B12 shots and believed they would provide a healthy boost to her energy levels. However, within 24 hours of receiving the injections, she began experiencing extreme chills, fever, and severe brain fog. While these symptoms initially seemed like a common cold, they quickly escalated. Within 48 hours, the injection sites became severely inflamed, forming hard nodules. She described a burning sensation and a feeling of contractions as her skin thinned and prepared to burst open. B reached out to the med spa for answers, but she was met with hostility. The owner accused her of lying and demanded that she sign a document waiving her right to sue in exchange for a refund. She refused to sign the document, sensing something was wrong. Her condition continued to deteriorate, and she sought help from medical professionals. However, doctors were baffled by her symptoms, attributing them to an allergic reaction. They prescribed antibiotics and steroids, but the mycobacterial infection, being multi-drug resistant, continued to spread. The steroids, unfortunately, exacerbated the situation by creating a favorable environment for bacterial growth. As a newcomer to Los Angeles, she found herself isolated and without family support. A concerned co-worker offered her a place to stay. Realizing the severity of her condition, she spent a month seeking outpatient care, but her condition worsened. Finally, she was hospitalized with a high fever, chills, and sepsis due to the overwhelming bacterial infection. In the hospital, doctors finally diagnosed her with mycobacterium and started her on an aggressive regimen of IV antibiotics. Despite the medical intervention, Bae spent 4 months hospitalized, enduring excruciating pain from wound care and the infection itself. She described experiencing severe joint inflammation and fatigue, requiring assistance even for basic tasks like going to the bathroom. Throughout this ordeal, the unwavering support from nurses became a source of comfort. The nurses went beyond their medical duties, providing emotional support and even gifting her an art set to help her cope with the isolation and trauma. She credits these acts of kindness as the most meaningful aspect of her hospital stay, emphasizing the irreplaceable human element in healthcare. Despite the nurses' efforts, B faced a grim prognosis from her doctors. They informed her that her scars would be permanent, severely impacting her aspirations of being a bikini model and influencer. This news, coupled with the isolation and excruciating pain, led to feelings of despair and self-blame. She questioned her decisions, feeling like her dreams were shattered. Adding to her woes, she discovered that the first infectious disease doctor assigned to her case was not adequately addressing her concerns. The doctor dismissed B's claims that the treatment was ineffective despite the visible progression of the infection. Only after B advocated for a second opinion and a change of doctors did her treatment plan improve. This highlights the importance of patient advocacy and seeking multiple medical opinions when facing serious health concerns. The improved treatment regimen involved the use of amikacin, a powerful antibiotic with severe side effects. As a result of this medication, B suffered permanent hearing loss and tinnitus. Though difficult, she accepted this sacrifice as a necessary measure to combat the infection. After 4 long months, she was discharged from the hospital, but her ordeal was far from over. She required constant care, relying on her father and nurses for daily wound care, medication, and basic needs. It took 9 months for the open wounds to heal completely. Gradually, with the support of her family and healthcare professionals, she started her journey toward regaining mobility and independence. After coming off 18 months of IV antibiotics, left her with a myriad of health issues, including recurring infections, gut problems, and hormonal imbalances. These challenges highlighted the long-term and often unexpected consequences of aggressive medical interventions, especially the use of powerful antibiotics. 2 years after her initial infection, she felt compelled to share her story publicly, hoping to raise awareness about the dangers of unregulated med spas and advocate for stricter industry regulations. She began sharing her story on social media in January 2023 to advocate for greater regulation of the cosmetic industry. Through her online platform, B discovered the shocking prevalence of mycobacterial infections linked to cosmetic procedures. She learned of countless individuals, including children, suffering from similar or even more severe infections. These stories fueled her desire to expose the dangers of unregulated med spas and advocate for stricter regulations within the cosmetic surgery industry. Her experience served as a stark reminder that cosmetic procedures, often perceived as low risk, can have life-altering consequences, particularly when performed in unregulated settings. She emphasized the need to acknowledge the potential risks and long-term consequences associated with these procedures, no matter how minor or commonplace they might seem. Throughout her recovery, she learned valuable coping mechanisms that proved helpful in navigating the challenges of her condition. She highlighted the importance of journaling, expressing gratitude, and focusing on positive affirmations as ways to reframe negative thoughts and cultivate self-acceptance. Bia emphasized that these practices require conscious effort and may not always feel natural, especially during moments of despair or low self-esteem. However, she firmly believes in the transformative power of these techniques in shifting one's mindset and promoting emotional healing. She criticized the lack of accountability for practitioners operating without proper licenses, insurance, or adherence to safety protocols. Her experience exposed the devastating consequences of these oversights, advocating for increased transparency, stringent safety measures, and legal repercussions for negligent practitioners. She urges her followers to avoid unnecessary procedures and instead focus on accepting themselves as they are. She emphasizes challenging societal pressures that prioritize unrealistic beauty standards and advocating for a more inclusive and compassionate approach to self-image. The allure of natural remedies and the dangers of misinformation, emphasizing that while alternative therapies can be beneficial for certain conditions, they are not a substitute for evidence-based medical treatment, particularly for serious infections like Mycobacterium. Dr. Mike echoes the importance of approaching bacteria and infections with an appropriate level of seriousness, advocating for a balanced perspective that acknowledges potential risks without succumbing to fear-mongering. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.